Reporting to you with no bias. Informing you with no exceptions. Nothing but the facts. Let's get the truth together. We the people. We the voice. We are the news now.
Hello, everyone. It is Friday the 13th.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it is. Welcome back to Really Woke Reports Live with myself, Roxanne, the Globalist Denier, my wonderful co-host, 007, and two of our guests. We've got HOODILIDADDYBEAR and Ian Leahy, and we've also got Noel Harry Watson, who's going to be joining us shortly. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat room who's been there waiting. Thank you to everyone that's taking the time to watch us here this evening as we try and bring you up to date with the malarkey, the disinfo, the distractions, the fear-mongering that's going on. We're going to try and cover it all in the just over an hour that we're going to be live. So I will get to you in the chat room shortly. Guys, how are you all? How are you all? Are you all still standing, first and foremost? And are any of you quarantined yet?
I can't wait to see what the traffic
I'm
looks
sat
like.
down right now. But
I'm hoping there's going to be no traffic later based on this. That would be plus. Yeah.
I'm still alive. We're all still here. It's okay.
Well, you've clearly sent everyone home, Ian.
Yeah, you can see it in the office. I mean, my secretary's here, but what? Oh, okay, I will. Thanks. Yeah, cheers. It's okay. No, put the beer back. Put the beer back. Okay.
It's all right. You've sent the staff home.
No,
This thing.
I've
They're
kept the
absolutely
secretary
fine.
on. So
Noel, thank you so much for joining us as well. We've got the five of us. Ian was just telling us that he's still standing. How is everything for you in Malta? Are you on lockdown? Are you quarantined yet? What's good?
I haven't been out all day, and you can hear me, right? I haven't been out all day, and Molly and I just went quickly to go see if we could check some footage from my stolen wallet yesterday. Apparently, someone went around robbing everyone yesterday, and I was one of those lucky people. But yeah, the streets have been quiet. Malta is kind of on lockdown. They are shutting down all flights. I think this is all knee-jerk at the moment. Like, we don't actually have any deaths or anything else.
So I'm not going out of town next weekend? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wanted to try and get out of town yesterday, but the prices literally went up like tenfold in the space of just over an hour. So
super low when I bought them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Buy low, sell high. Yeah.
Highs and lows, depending on where you're going across the international plane, I take it then, because it seems to be swinging in roundabouts. I've heard reports that some flights have gone up to over $1,000 that were previously at a couple of £100. And there's some flights that were over £800-900 that are now going for a couple of £100. So there seems to be no rhyme or reason to us, at least just now, why that's the case. But it seems to be a self-evident truth. You've got cheap as chips, and no, you're getting completely stung with the prices.
Lucky me. Yeah. Well, maybe people on the plane. Yeah.
So with regard to what we're going to talk about today, we're going to bring everyone up to speed with the fear-mongering, because I think one thing that all of us on this panel today is we all conclusively agree that the mainstream media is fear-mongering big time. Am I on the same page as everyone else there?
I'm watching the media, Roxanne. I'm just guessing.
From what I'm getting, even just from what I got at the school this morning, just from the neurotic coffee-fueled mums at the school at 8:30 in the morning, literally all like that. Yeah, some of them freaking out, some of them literally putting masks and gloves, plastic gloves on their kids to go into school.
Really? Is that really happening?
I promise you, this is what we were seeing this morning. You know, like the mechanic gloves or like doctor. Yeah, those. And you know, like a builder's dust mask.
Yeah.
And what's worse is these people are like taking their masks off and putting them down and putting them back on again, putting them down.
I got 60 ounces of hand sanitizer refill. It's up to $2,700 on eBay, so I'm good.
You've got coffee shops that are giving out free hand sanitizer with every coffee.
I would like to go to CVS and find out if the Benadryl is out of stock from all the hives that people are having.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? As I said, there just seems to be bits and pieces all over the place. We've already had Noel. I'm letting you and Ian know, you and HOODILIDADDY and everyone in the chat room. Noel, if you were watching us on the Really Woke Reports the other day, actually messaged a couple of his friends that live inside Italy. You showed us their response. They said, yep, bang, quarantine. It's a quarantine thing. Rich told us as well, I've got a couple of Italian friends as well. Do you know what? I might go and put the feelers out and and go and speak to a couple of my Italian friends. Where are you at?
I've
with
had follow-ups from several other countries as well. Switzerland, my friends are saying they're now closing up the schools and everything else. Romania, the same. Where else did I speak to? Yeah, I'll check because I've had a whole bunch of messages today. I've got friends in Bali. Oh, my friend I sent you details about. He can't get back to Ibiza now apparently because they're locking down Spain.
So the Balearics are getting locked down as well. Then
it's a virus pandemic global emergency now, and the epicenter is in Europe. The epicenter is in Europe, and there's just
I feel like the zombie apocalypse is upon us. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you feel in America? Do you feel that this is the play? Do you think this is it? Do you think?
Ian, most of the people I talk to think it's complete bullshit. So I was.
I mean, as a truth seeker, do you think this is the real play? Because this is the big question, right? Everybody.
I think it's a distraction from election stuff. I think it's a distraction from anything to do with what you should be, concentrating on. If they do something big over here, it's a magician. It's a confidence trick. Somebody is over here because there's something going on over there.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
And I think I talked to Roxanne about this earlier. It's a test run for the next real.
See, I have a problem with that though. Yeah. I have a problem with that because if this is just a test run, then no one's going to buy it the second time around.
Yes.
So I'm trying to work out.
Yes.
Is this the play? This may well be the play. This may well be the timeline. It might be.
Oh, you mean is this?
Remember, like last week?
Yeah. Possible. I didn't understand the question as well. Now I understand.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Yeah. No. We're both speaking English. You're just speaking better than I am.
Do you remember last week when everyone said, "Look, man, they've done this before: Ebola, SARS, foot and mouth. What if those were the precursors to this?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ebola never got the press coverage that this has. They never got the fear mongering at this game. I mean, nobody grounded any flights. Nobody done anything. You've listen, by the very nature of the patent that exists that we've probably all seen, and the patents for the cure, as it were, they do tend to work with whatever a live virus is. I mean, whether it is a real thing or not and can survive in or out of a body is another thing. But it's something that exists by the very nature that we can see there's a patent for these things, right? So it may well be a thing, but the problem is, like everything else with it, you're just going on what you've had before and what you can find out about this. So whether it's a real virus or a pathogen in the first place, it might be. We may be behind. There may be a swell and a plethora of cases that have illness.
This is my point.
But in my heart, it's not going to happen.
All of you a question and everybody in the chat room, and I just want to put it to you like this, okay? Why have we had reports of normal people dying, apparently, normal people that aren't being named in the press?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
See, when we get a person we're told this person is tested positive and we've had to quarantine them, but we're not naming any names.
Oh, yeah. What
this week I woke up to Tom Hanks and his wife going, we're handing
Tom Hanks is a liar for a living.
To me, it looked like a handing.
Let's quote Big Bear. Is anyone you know have this, and are they bleeding from the eyes and the anus?
No.
Right.
No.
Right. Exactly.
I'm anticipating.
This is why it's only celebrities. But what I'm saying is, regardless of whether it's real or not, is this the play? Is this the thing? Right. So the economy collapses. Forced vaccinations, chip, military on the street, whatever next, right? Fake alien invasion or whatever it is, the thing. Is this the time where this is the play? Are we looking at this thing over the next, 5 years? I think it's 5 years.
Are we looking at the systematic takedown of the old guard?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what we're looking at, the systematic takedown?
I don't know. It depends whichever...
The cabal deep state are winning right now. It just looks like they're losing left, right and centre.
Yeah, but they're fighting hard. Okay, they're fighting hard.
Maybe.
Listen, we're talking about two different things, because I think what Ian's referring to, the play, being their if this is the play to take full control and and oppress us, that like where we're going to be totally in a cashless society. It's going to be a
I think that's what's
social credits
going to
thing,
happen
all
now.
of
If
that.
it doesn't, it's a waste
Right.
of time for them.
What
Isn't money the root of all evil?
I think that what me and Roxanne think, we both agree, and I agree even more today because of what I've heard today. One of the people that I've heard has died. We think this is actually this is much bigger than you can
Yeah, I forgot about that.
imagine.
You couldn't
Because
make this up.
this
Rich,
is
can you just explain who's died?
In what way?
No idea. Can you just give a quick
Okay.
synopsis of what we're talking about? Because this is kind
try and think about. All right, stop thinking about the virus being
right.
anything to do with the cold and flu, anything to do with sickness, as in physical health sickness. Think of it as a mental sickness. The virus is a mental sickness. It's people that think it's okay to do really, really sick, twisted things with kids,
right?
And with young people, and with other, just use its people. It basically, it's the sociopathic, narcissistic, self-serving elite.
Yeah.
Basically, in a nutshell, and all of their minions. And what this is now is there's been a record that we've only seen it over the last, sort of 10 years or so. It's only really been coming out into the limelight a bit more in the last 10 years. But the people that are orchestrating this now, they've known about it for the last 60, 100 years. They've always known about it, and this is a very, 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 very deep level plan that's taken this long to come to fruition because of all the plays that are having to be made, and also for all the people to be identified for who they are, because these people are the absolute masters of blending in, not being seen. They're the masters. They're the perfectionists of this thing. So they need to have been brought to a state where they're confident enough to go, yeah, I'm like that. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
As we
And
said, it
that's
looks
what
like they're
they're
fighting for their
basically-
lives.
So they've been given enough rope to hang themselves, and now we're slowly seeing the noose tighten around their necks.
Tell
they're
everyone
gonna
who was
get
reported
hung.
about dying today. Who was
So
reported
anybody
to die today?
who's following me and Roxanne probably knows something about Brian Harvey. I don't know if you know about Brian Harvey. Yeah.
The music, in the band, Brian Harvey.
From me 17.
Yeah.
From me 17. So Brian Harvey, the poor guy, man, has been a targeted individual.
I've seen some of his videos, and ever since he started mentioning it, I saw a few.
I used to hate the guy because I bought into the mainstream narrative, and I thought he was a waste of breath. I was horrible about him with people. And then I watched his videos, and after it was after realizing, oh yeah, mainstream media is is what they are.
Yeah.
And so I watched and I listened to him, and I realized, oh my God, Brian Harvey's like me, man. He's under different circumstances, if I'd grown up around him, I'd want to be his mate. I want to be his mate now. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. And he's been his character's been totally assassinated.
He's been hounded as well, hasn't he, by the police?
Oh, he's had death threats. He's been hounded, but not by people, by the authorities.
Yeah, by
man.
the police.
Police.
It's by the police. It's crazy.
The Freemasonic part of the City of London police turning up on his.
Let me ask you guys something.
No, chat room. Brian Harvey's not dead, by the way. We've got where you're
Brian Harvey is not
away.
dead. No.
Yeah, so Brian Harvey's not dead.
Everyone in the chat's
gone. So Brian Harvey's
had for 10 years.
Brian had two main arguments. One was against News of the World.
Yeah.
And Rupert Murdoch. And his other was with his ex-manager, with the manager, Tom Watkins.
Okay.
Right, from the E17, was he their manager? Or he was their manager.
Something
or whatever,
like that.
right?
Yeah.
And he said Tom Watkins raped one of the band members. He was absolutely, it's disgusting what this guy does. and he was totally blatant. And there's an interview with him where he basically sits there and says it, right? Just says it, what sort of person he is, and the only reason why he's doing it as well. And Tom Watkins died this morning. Well, not this morning, but Tom Watkins has died in the last couple of days. Tom Watkins has died, I think, of COVID-19. I don't know if it's COVID-19. I haven't actually. I haven't had a check. I heard it this morning.
But it is the perfect cover story, right? For every celebrity who wants to slip under the radar. And
Brian's doing a live saying, yeah, but is he though? Is he dead? Man, wow, because Brian can't believe it. Tom Watkins has died. I just dropped my thing because what he did, where he went away for a bit and then he come back and he said, look, Tom Watkins, do one, mate. I'm not bothered about you anymore. Keep your money. You're a dick. You know what you did. I'm worried about. He was more worried about the light. Oh no, actually no. He was still worried about Tom Watkins. I'm thinking about. Sorry, Brian, mate. I'm getting that wrong. I'm thinking about the plumber, Ian.
Let me ask you guys
Ian
something.
Paddock.
All
Ian
five.
Paddock.
Ian Paddock. Yeah.
What's your opinion? How long does someone stay in their home for 10 days, quarantine themselves? At what point do you take yourself out of the game? At what point does everyone poke their head out and go, all right, I guess it's okay to go get some,
That's a good question, because that's what everyone on the streets are talking about right now.
For me,
talking about getting fatigue syndrome.
Listen, this is the biggest, it's got to be, whatever it is, the biggest psychological operation. So if you start to buy into it and believe it, you're going to create the reality that you've got or could get some disease, right? You're going to literally create the reality that you're in. The minute you start sneezing, you're going to go, oh my God, I've got it. You're going to quarantine yourself. And and then that's just the people that aren't even, there's more dense people that will just, quarantine themselves anyway, whether they got a cold or not. They'll just do it. And
Right, Dave Mordy's put something on the screen.
Sorry, though.
Dave Mordy's put something on the screen, and I do, guys, I just want to let everyone know, thank you so much to everyone that's taken the time to be with us here. I definitely will get into the chat room. Dolly, thank you so much for putting that helpful information into the chat room as well, darling. You smashed it. Brilliant. Dave Mordy's popped a comment on the screen as well, which has just cropped up on my eye because of the conversations you're having with Italy at the moment. Noel, you've been keeping in contact with your pals over in Italy. You're on mute, darling. Hold on.
Am I?
Yeah, you're not now, though. Okay. I can hear you. That's all good. You've been speaking to your pals as well in Italy. Dave Mordy said in Italy, they're killing their own, just like China did. So I'm going to throw the ball over here to 007 because he actually has been speaking to his pals about this over the last couple of days, and you've been given some footage, Double, I believe.
I've sent the link to you, Rox. I've actually sent the link to you in Skype, so you can go in.
Perfect. Yeah, I've got it. I'm literally just about to ask you if it's all right to show it in a minute. Go on, darling. Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, are you all friends with Robert O'Rourke? Anybody?
O'Rourke? No, I've not heard of him.
I know.
He's in Turin, right? A couple of things, right? My sister-in-law is in Bologna, and she's still teaching. She teaches foreign students, so I don't know if that has the same impact of state or whatever, but she's still teaching, so people are still there. But another friend of mine lives in Turin, and he sent me something. He said nearly 8 weeks after the first media warning, which was the 13th of March in Turin, South Italy, he's observing, he's taken note, and what's happening is he doesn't see his fellow countrymen as a whole reacting to these Nazi Gestapo instructions, right, which are restrictions. And he goes on to say, you'll get fined if you're not with the right papers and you're not just going to and from work.
Right.
But he said people are going out on the street because there's no one to enforce it. So there's no police, there's no military on the street. So they are literally policing themselves. So, I mean, the Italians fooled a bit at a gust of wind anyway, so there always the longest lines in the doctors' queues, and typically, and I don't want to say that, but typically, all right, bearing in mind my sister-in-law's Italian, that's the deal, right?
There's 300 million people in America that are at least documented that I know of there's like 350 million guns. Like, there is no resource to come and get your guns. Nobody's coming to get your guns. You can give them up. That didn't work very well for New Zealand. So I think that there's a pathology here. Even we're doing it right now. We're talking about worst case scenarios when really, if you fear God, it's Jesus said, Yeshua, however you want to call it, says, do not be afraid, period. It's a quote.
Yep.
And that's the end of it. So it's sort of incumbent upon us to definitely lean on the side of what's going well and what's real. In my opinion, other than to think about all the what ifs, because really at the end of the day, like Ian, we don't know what if. We won't know.
No, we don't.
It'll just be what it is. And so I think living your life in that capacity, moving forward, and not succumbing to even the truth end of the side, or the what ifs, or what like we talked about before, Roxanne. What is it not?
Yeah, what is it not?
Right.
That's the better view to have. Yeah.
One of the things that we're going on about, right, is the MSN, how the MSN is pushing this fear, and we're saying that the MSN are being, they're being paid to do it, whatever. Yesterday I caught something, and I screen recorded it. But I caught something. They were on Sky News Live. The reporters, all of those guys involved in that production, they're all terrified. They are terrified, man. They are living in fear. So it's no surprising that all they're pumping out is fear. I was watching earlier, like about an hour ago, the Sky News International section, right? And it comes up, it says protests in Chile. But the music didn't quite seem like, anxious. But then it goes to the monkeys getting born or something in the Czech Republic. The international news for it, there's protests in Chile, but in the Czech Republic, there's monkeys being born. And it's lullaby music. And then it jumps back then it goes to dramatic music. Dun, 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 dun. But it's the bloody weather. It's only the weather, right?
Rich,
then they're going, the virus pandemic, global emergency.
Do you see that, guys?
Right? Today,
yeah, where's that?
Today they've announced.
Look at this.
Today they've announced that there's been a massive jump in deaths. Nearly a third, 208 people have died. Right? I mean, my first thought is, people just aren't panicking.
Why are they giving us numbers?
People aren't panicking enough, so they've ramped
That's right.
up the fear.
We've done it in the UK. We've
yesterday,
in the UK died.
Let me know if you can hear this.
Go for it.
Okay, so should you be travelling at the moment? If so, which country should you be going to? Which should you not? We heard what happened as a dry cough in the studio.
Oh, of course.
From the Telegraph.
Sound man.
Nice
that was priceless, because she coughed in the background and the woman could have just completely ignored it, but she goes, "Oh dear, dry cough."
What's more is the edit suite pulled back to a wide shot.
Yeah. That's what they did it
on cue.
On cue. Thank you. Thank you.
So what are we saying it actually is then? Are we going with the? I mean, there's the 5G thing. There's everything, right? There's all different angles. Where has everybody led the research to what we think it is?
Well, may I show you something that's from
just brought up
inside
this
Italy?
morning.
It's
Just
okay
brought
with
this
you
morning that maybe the actual vaccine will be giving you this worst scenario of this. That's been said this morning. I was listening to Owen Benjamin. It's a kind of a go-to for the do not despair narrative for us, is to remember that this is exactly what they, on every side of the fence. You have a lady freaking out buying up all the Benadryl at CVS, and then you have people in the truther community or whatever that are like, well, is this it? It's every end of the spectrum. So I think it's important to remember that they've done it before. They'll probably do it again. They want to see, how stupid are you? Let's take a litmus test here this year and see, what people do. Nobody's trampling over anybody like they do at Black Friday at Walmart.
Black Friday, man.
Yeah, people die over material possessions that all of us are probably like, that's retarded. But that's what happened. You know, I said before, you know, McDonald's, you know, nobody's rushing to close them down, but they, you know, they contributed to 300,000 obesity deaths last year. You know, it's a perspective thing, I think.
Are you guys okay with me playing this? This is some footage. Rich, can you just explain a little bit just before I play this? This is your pal, yeah?
I've got a few
info.
Italian friends. I have a few Italian friends here. My friend Davide is my favourite out of all of them. He's absolutely brilliant. He's from Sardinia, and so I asked him, you know, dude, what's going on in Italy? Of your friends or family? He's like, oh yeah, my everyone, they're all locked down. It's really bad. The prison's rioting, spilled out onto the streets. My friend is really worried because the caliber of the prisoner that have escaped onto the streets. And I said, have you got any footage or anything? If they've been sending you anything? And he said, yeah, man, I've got videos from my friends. They put on Instagram, but I think they were censored. And he actually had the paperwork. I said, what happens when you go out on the street? You know, how are they enforcing it? And he said, if you go on, you can go on the street to go to the shop, but you need a paper. If you don't have a paper, it's a €200 fine. It's 3 months in prison. So I did a little interview with him. I didn't want to put him on camera because he was working, you know, and he's a lovely guy, but he's a little bit shy. So I just had the audio, and then I've put that up with the you know, with all the stuff that he sent me. So
cool. I'll play it now.
Oh yeah, and I wrote a theme tune. I wrote a theme tune today to go with it as well. Wrote and recorded the theme tune today.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and play it now, guys. Hopefully you all can hear it.
Available at all good record shops.
I mean, all your mates, they're all in quarantine. You can speak to them on the phone and stuff.
This is on his Italian TV.
Yeah.
He's got Italian TV.
Can they leave the house? Can they go to the shop and shit, or do they have to stay in the house?
They need that paper.
They have to get the paper to permission to leave the house.
Yeah, this is the paper.
You can send me
the original paper.
Yeah.
The name, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Only for work, only for necessity. Necessità is like you feel bad and I have to come to see you. Salute is how you feeling, if you feel bad, or if you have to go in your house. From to where.
So if they've got that paper,
and you have to put all this.
If they've got that paper, they can leave the house to go to the shop. So basically, if they get stopped on the street and they don't have that paper, then they get what happens? They get arrested.
No, €200 fine.
Wow.
Or sanzioni previste articolo 4 is €200 fine, or jail 3 months minimum.
3 months minimum in jail.
Jail.
Yeah. You can send me that as well, dude. Send me that as well.
That's your declaration, your responsibility, going out because the virus, and you have to know. Di essere a conoscenza means you know about the virus is around.
So read all of that in Italian.
Di essere a conoscenza delle misure di contenimento del contagio. Means you know about what's gonna happen if you are around. The contagio is the virus, and the article blah blah blah. That is all comma one.
Yeah, the article that it is.
For get reason on this.
Yeah.
The president del Consiglio say 9 March 2020.
From the 9th of March 2020.
Yeah. From 9. From
Yeah,
the
just
9 to
send,
15 days.
just send everything you got, mate.
Yeah, I
Okay,
will
that's
send you.
awesome. Thank you.
That's mad, isn't it?
We do know an interpreter. Nia, our friend Nia from Israel, is actually
Bologna.
an interpreter. So we'll try and get. I'm going to try and get this interpreted.
If you send it to me, I'll send it to my sister-in-law if you like. You get the
Yeah, cool, man. I can do
Great.
that.
Sharing is caring. I like that, guys. Brilliant.
There you go. Just bung it. Just send it to on Messenger or something, Rich, and then I'll just. Yeah,
I don't know
Skype's
how
fine.
Messenger,
Oh yeah,
mate. Are
Skype.
you on
I'm on.
Skype?
I'm on Skype. Yeah, we spoke on Skype, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. We bloody hell, Ian, we've spoken. We nearly met up. You were
So,
here.
Rich, what is this footage of?
Right. This is the this is my mate. Oh no, this is the stuff that was on the news. So yeah.
Just talk up a bit, Rich. Who's this?
So this is my friend's friend. Lives just down from the prison, and he's got friends that live near the prison, and they're filming. There's a fire going on in the actually in the prison. I'm not sure if it was this video. One of the videos is from his mate.
What's that? Burning coronavirus.
Yeah, no, this is in the prisons. All the prisons are rioting.
Well, they can, because all the police and all the army are locked down. They're not going outside. This is what my friend was saying. He can go outside and there's 5 people outside. No one checking papers. No one checking to see if you're going to work or not. So I don't know if people are taking advantage of that or not, but
there's no resources for that and to check papers. I mean, that's just
it.
Another fear-mongering thing. You can't practically put that into of any value. It's like
wow, that was scary that there's army on the street there. I didn't see that.
The point I'm making here is forget the virus for a second. They're getting civilians off the streets one way or the other.
Like you said,
civilians are being removed off the streets.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So even if there's no validity to CV19, the lockdown inside Italy is definitely a self-evident truth. Even just between Noel and Richard, it's when you've got first-hand friends that are living in those said places. What they're expecting is to keep people divided and to keep people listening to the official narrative that's coming through.
Yeah, true.
You know?
What city is it, Rich? Where are they?
I'm not sure where this is. There's an interview coming up that's actually in my mate's village. Where does
he live?
Sardinia. It's in Sardinia. It's in a village in Sardinia.
Does anybody?
I don't know where this is.
Is anybody recognizing?
I didn't get the locations from him.
Not recognizing those
This
vehicles.
is la giornata.
What's scarier to you, COVID-19 or Corona? How's it changed over the last week or so from something that sounds like it's a beer, it goes well with Lyme disease, and now it's COVID-19.
Well, they tell us
that ties in with the whole, what I was saying about coronaviruses. They've always known about the coronaviruses. They've been cast as the common cold. They weaponized one part. They weaponized one of the strands, one of the viruses, called it COVID-19. But I think it's really interesting. It hadn't actually occurred to me. I know we mentioned about the event 201, but event 201, I wonder if that was if it was CV19. That was a coronavirus event that they staged in October 2019. CV19.
I think somebody's really laughing at this. Really laughing at all of this. It's
right. There's no point. He's speaking, so you can get this translated as well, because he's speaking now. But this is in Davide's village.
Can you see the emblem on him? The triangle, the snake.
Yeah.
Is
that their health one? Or?
Does anybody ever look at the logo and go, "That looks sinister"?
That's exactly what I'm thinking now. Exactly what I'm thinking now. I'm looking at the logos and just going, crikey.
The staff of Hermes or something.
What? You look at the back of
Hermes,
the United States dollar bill is the trippiest, weirdest thing that no one will ever look at and go, that's interesting, that's strange. You have an all-seeing Illuminati eyeball at the top of a pyramid. That's on our dollar bill. What the hell does our country and our nation have to do with Babylon? You know, or anything to do with that kind of occult type behavior?
That went under the radar for such a long time, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was under the radar for such a long time.
It's right. Yeah, it's right there in your eyes. I've even mentioned it to people, and the only people that do chime in say something like, "Well, then send those lovely pieces of paper over to me if you don't like them." Okay, sure. That's the answer to why how weird money is. Okay, that's one way. You said money is the root of all evil, Roxanne. The quote is actually the love of money is the root of all evil. But like we talked about earlier, it's all about money. It's about economy. It's about shutting things down. It's about going up to $1,000 whatever versus $131 to go down to Miami. I hope I get to go out of the weekend or go to town the next weekend. We'll see. But that's what it comes down to. You have to the more you know, the more you know, and you have to look at these things from a larger agenda, and then look past that, and then re-examine it and say, well, maybe it's just as simple as you think it is, or maybe it's just we won't know, Ian. We're not going to know. We're going to wonder, or we're just going to move on with our lives. Because after 10 days, people are going to go, well, I need my kid to be out of my face now. Like they need to go back to school.
The thing is,
this is the problem. This is what I'm saying. Is this the play, or is it all going to be over by the end of the month? And it was a test. Okay, so the longevity of this is going to decide whether it's a play or not.
This is not going to be over by the end of the month.
Are we taking
this is not going to be over by the end of the month.
Okay,
this is going to be rolling on through till October, November.
I'll give you April 15th.
In my honest opinion,
April 15th tax day in the United States. That's what I'll give you. I'll give you another 20 days or so.
I've seen April mentioned a few times in the chat, Rich. I've seen people in the chat room. There's a lot of people really conclusively going for April. Me personally, I think it's a bit longer than that. I think we might have to wait until October to see this one out.
Yeah, and can I just want to say, because what you were saying about the love of money, and that's important, because all money is at the end of the day, money is energy. Money is something that gives energy to things, and it's not money that's evil. It's the love of money, and actually the people making money more important than life itself. That's the problem. Because money is energy, like the things that money can do in a society where money is what makes the world go round. Then the things that money could do, we could have a society where there was money, but if it was used properly, we'd have a harmonious society. It'd be beautiful. It's just greed. It's where the greed, and that's the selfish, narcissistic, sociopathic.
What do you think, Noel? No, how long do you give it? What's your
timeline?
Yeah.
Well, we're assuming you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yep,
yeah.
We're assuming this is to I'm guessing we're all assuming that it's a look over here for something, right?
Yeah.
What do we think it's a look over here for? I mean, if it's them Democrats getting a bit crazy and trying to undo the very almost definite likelihood of Trump getting a second term, then it's probably going to end sometime around his election time. But at the same time, the first countries it hits were all ones that were having big riots, so it looks like it's even above that.
I think that's why they're holding it back, because of that.
Right, and
I think I know.
But I know that you, Roxanne, think that this might be like a White Hats thing, and I guess what the actual motive for it is would depend on how long it lasts. It has to run its course, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, maybe if everyone goes, this is bullshit, and everyone thinks that's bullshit, they'll come along with a new big thing, right? They'll knock down a tower somewhere, and never mind, something else has happened over here.
Sure.
Yeah. Go on, bro.
I want to say, I said right from early on, I've been saying that this is something that's being used by both sides. There's two narratives going on. One of them is completely covert, and we're trying to read it. Actually, they're both covert, and we're trying to read them, but one's for one side and one's for the other. And I think what it is, you know the expression, give them enough rope and they hang themselves. So they brought this situation to a state where they could give these people enough rope, and then they come in and and I think they gave them COVID-19. I think they basically allowed the deep state to forward a plan to push vaccines and all this stuff, and they wanted to do that, so they let the first stage of the plan go, which was China, and then they took control. They tightened the noose. They're tightening the noose, because there's two narratives going on. There's COVID-19 and there's coronavirus.
Isn't there a situation? It's really weird. I saw it as a Neil deGrasse Tyson interview, and he's asked what he thinks of the coronavirus, and he says it's an experiment to see if you trust science. Right now, how weird would it be though? Now, listen, there's a lot of people waking up. Okay, is what I'm saying. A lot of people waking up, and there's a lot of people saying they don't trust science. It can't just be. Obviously, it's a multifaceted thing, but it gives science a bit more credence as well. So, in the fact that everyone's being brainwashed with it, the end wash is a vaccination with a.
I mean, there could be
more credence. It gives mainstream media more credence. It does not give science more credence.
I know. So what I'm saying is it reinforces what I'm saying is they're trying to reinforce the fact that it is a proper thing. And science is to be believed. And what a load of old nonsense.
No. Can I just make a point though, guys? If we take this system that we live in, it's been like this for a minute, right? We've been living this madness for a minute, as long as we know anyway in our lifetime. If we are gonna, I can see people in the chat room saying, look, this is serious. People that are self-employed, people are going to lose a lot of things here. But we're living in our oppressors' system. We can't destroy the oppressors without destroying their system.
Yep.
Yeah, as we know, money has corrupted people. For people to say part of the New World agenda is to have us into a cashless system, right, where we're all oppressed. Well, in order to free us from the system we're in, we can no longer live like this. People can no longer traffic children and sodomize children. There's a line that's been crossed here, guys, right? And I know it sounds a bit whimsical to just say politely, yeah, they're doing all this to take a few pedos off the street. If only if it was that simple. This is far past some of our darkest nightmares, the system that we're living in. Yeah, the deep, satanic, sick, messed up crap that these sodomistic people, these people worship the thought of Satan. Yeah. On an
so is it all biblical? Is this all biblical? Are these the last grabs at a whole biblical scenario?
I could think of, yeah.
It increasingly feels so, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm not that way, but it does feel like that. It does feel like that. It feels like going up. The truth is going up one side of a pyramid, and the baddies are going up the other, and whoever gets to the top,
look at the international situation. When we look at everything that's going on everywhere across the plane, it just looks like the cabal's back's being broken and they're fighting for their life. And we're now fighting a silent war that 20% of it is spewed into the public domain. And that's what we're here dealing with now. And 80% of it is covert. And we're only going to find out once the cards all fall on the table. I think once people realize that Hillary Clinton has been detained, not arrested yet. Once people realize Podesta's been arrested, go for it, my darling. I can see you down there with your finger up. Go for it.
No. Isn't he?
Alfie was trying to say something, but you were just all ignoring him.
He was waving. I thought he was waving.
He's waving his hand. He's like, I want to say something. I want to say something.
Are any of you Walking Dead fans?
Oh, I've heard of
it. I was for a little time.
I've never watched it.
Up to season 5.
Are you?
I got to season 5.
All right, yeah, it starts to get a little weird there, but I almost don't watch it anymore because they've gone all way off the range. But the first thing that I always noticed about that was when the pandemic happened in that show. You see that people are locked up into gridlock traffic where they just have to get out of their car because it's never going to move again, and that's what I see. That would be the best case scenario for them to get involved in, is when people just need to flee. Right now it's the opposite. Right now it's stay where you are.
But that's what the deep state want. The
Yes.
deep state want that situation, don't they?
Yeah.
Whereas the
Tidier,
other
it's
side, they
tighter.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why they're trying to pump the fear. This is why they're ramping the fear. No, 208 people have died now. Man, this is a global pandemic situation. This is because they want people to panic. It wouldn't surprise me now if the situations with panic buy-in and whatever in the areas where they're not monitoring, where they're not restricting people to what they can purchase, though they're probably going to flood that.
If these restrictions come through and then the military of all these countries are not, they're all on lockdown, really easy to go and bomb somebody, isn't it? If you're not playing that sort of game, there's no military resistance. No,
you can tell he's used to doing radio, can't you?
Very
You
fair.
can bloody tell he's used to doing radio because he's got this calm level of voice.
You're supposed to talk all weird.
Hold on a minute. There's someone in the studio. Is not. Could you be quiet, please?
They have their own media has their own cadence in the way that they speak, and I don't think that's by mistake. I think there's some sort of underlying beat or pulse or hertz that you play music at that is now ramped up. There's the way the politicians, they speak the same way. It's in that very
lying,
dramatic, pregnant pause.
You can actually, you can see it. You can notice the difference depending on what he's talking about with Trump. You can notice the difference when he delivered his address to the nation yesterday. He was really calm, nice, and just really calm and cool. But there's other times where I find it's a little bit of his ego comes out, and he's a bit arrogant and we are the greatest, we are the best. But it's they're all sort of coached, aren't they, on how to deliver. One of the things I was talking to Rox about yesterday, we were watching Sky News quite a lot yesterday, and they had 3 different reporters, all blonde, all gorgeous, all had different parts to them. And all 3 of them captivated me, and I was like, oh man.
He went, why have they got a girl with dimples on, Roxanne? Where's this blonde hair come from?
Oh, and she was
a little bit like
accentuating her dimples.
Game of Thrones.
She knew exactly what expressions. She knew exactly what expressions to make and how to
once you've taken the
work,
shade
to
off,
speak,
see it.
to cause her dimples. And the other one was the smile. She looked like Rhea, man. She looked just like my ex-girlfriend Rhea.
Sure, they picked her. They look
like
actresses.
While she's talking, she's nodding, and she's
like
smiling, and it's all very reassuring. And I'm like, you're an actress. You're not an actress. You're
can I mention
a really good actress.
When we watched it, you could really see that for your average sleeping, and I love this word that Dave Murphy uses, muggle. See, for your average muggle, right? See, for someone that's just
shout out Harry Potter.
Someone that's watching the news and they're still half asleep, and you're trying to wake them up to stop watching stuff like that, and they're going, yeah, but no, they have these independent people on. They have all these people on. It's almost like they've cooked it up with a gas mark 9 and put Oscar-winning ones on for the muggles to just put them back into that coma. It's like they just needed to dose them up a little bit more, and they've pulled out all of the theatrics. You only have to look at it for 30 seconds to go, what kind of SH1T show is this I'm watching?
Have you noticed that all the girls are gorgeous and all the guys are old and
gay?
There's one guy that looks like he's from some kind of London gangster movie, man. I mean, he doesn't talk like it, but he looks like it. He's got these scars on his face, and he's overweight, and he looks like he's actually maybe an actual reporter who was never able to get any work, and they finally called him and said, look, we need you to step in. Do you want to come and be the anchor? And he's gone, now, okay, fine, all right, we'll do it now then. And he's just doing what he's told now.
Could be.
He's somebody that was overlooked for the last probably 20 years, and now he's being given a shot. Just make sure you stick to the script, sunshine. Make sure you don't think too much.
When are you going to bring in some sunshine, Dave? Anyway, let me ask you this. You all keep bringing up your president. How interested are you all in politics? I'm apolitical. I wouldn't even watch the State of the Union address. Give me the highlights, or we
It's
shut
all
it down.
circus. It is all circus, isn't it? It's all just puppets. And
It's an
circus
idea.
things,
It's
you
good
know?
to watch so you know where they're at with
Yeah.
whatever plan is going.
Q
Man, I can't give it
got me
energy.
interested in
I give
politics.
it energy like that. I get no energy left to go over and do like stuff like this.
Q got me interested in politics. I did not care. I've always known there were puppets. I've always known there were idiots, but I didn't realize the depths of the depravity that they got to.
True.
And it's only been actually since I've known Rox and Dolly and been actually looking at Q and thinking about it in a different way, that I've been interested in politics. And I've sat there and watched countless Trey Gowdy, Ted Cruz, what's his name?
I did security for Ted Cruz. Tell me about Q.
Noons, all of them love him. Sorry?
You give somebody like the lay terms, what is Q? Because I don't know enough.
Nobody knows.
So to your average muggle and to a lot of other conspiracy channels and stuff, people on the path, myself included, and when Q first hit came under our scrutiny in 2017, I was on the path. I've been on the path for 4 years, and I chucked the baby out with the bathwater with that one. And it was only Roxanne and Dolly that brought me back to it in the last couple of years. And coming back to it it's given me, I can see what Q is. I don't think anybody really fully appreciates it. Q, the movement itself, there's the movement itself and there's Q. Who is Q? Well, whoever Q is, Q started the movement. And what the movement is millions of independent critical thinkers scrutinizing everything that's going on.
Is this basically anonymous? Is that
if I can give a quick synopsis of what it is?
Rox is the best one. Rox, you're over there.
Q clearance patriot, right? QAnon, or simply Q, is a group of patriots in military intelligence, NSA, with access to all information, including top secret and secret restricted data.
Next level of anonymous.
Q serves at the pleasure. Q serves at the pleasure of Protus and is leading the storm and the Great Awakening worldwide. Q leverages anonymous internet boards, the Chans, to divulge the biggest insider-approved intel drop in the history of humanity. These anonymous boards were selected as the single communication channel to spread the message because they could not be controlled or censored like other social media platforms. Q posts cryptic crumbs that hold the key to future events and the unraveling of corruption and evil that is everywhere. These crumbs are fully understood by watching the news cycle and seeing events unfold. Q has made many predictions of future events that are undeniable proofs. Likewise, there is a clear pattern of communication and coordination between Q posts and POTUS tweets. POTUS, Q, and patriotic anons are working together to rid the international community of the evil and corruption, and it's working. The storm is picking up speed, as we can all see. Politicians have been stepping down, CEOs resigning, sealed indictments, child trafficking arrests alone, right? House cleaning in the FBI, the DOJs, and that's just the first domino. I'm not just talking about America, this is international, right? Booming US economy, right? Up and down. North Korea peace, Saudi Arabia arrests, Iran revolution. The list goes on. I could go on. I'm happy to carry on, but I don't know where you want me to go with this. I can go through MS-13. I can go through Planned Parenthood. I can go through Secure Drop, Operation Mockingbird, the whole 9/11 scenario that everyone knows. Red Cross. Red Cross isn't what they say it is.
Can I just ask a question with Q? What has Q given to us as truth?
Yes, that's my question.
What has Q given to us?
What's the track record like? Yeah,
it depends on where you're looking.
Why make it cryptic? What's the point?
Okay,
why don't you just? In my opinion, I don't know too much about it. I'm aware of Q.
Yes,
I could answer that.
And I'm trying to, but I mean, why not? If you're just going to do it,
Ian, though. So Ian, that's what I thought. That's one of the reasons why I actually jumped off the Q train back in 2018, because what Q was posting on the Q map it made sense, right, at the time, because it was before the dates. But and so we're all the dates of the Q posts, right? When they said these things were going to happen, they posted these things up, and we're all looking at the dates. So give us some dates. Give us some examples, Rox, of the earliest Q posts that came up.
The problem
Right?
I've
And
got,
these things,
the problem I'm thinking of is
they're
it something that
things like
anybody else could have
listen,
found?
they're saying things like Hillary
know.
Clinton getting detained, Podesta getting arrested. They're talking about, yeah, it's all happening now. Everything's happening now. All the American troops are out. It's all going on, right? And we're all sat here going,
You can equate it to flat Earth, you know. You can equate
what?
it to flat Earth.
No,
There's
it's
so much
not. None of this.
disinfo.
In what way can you equate it to flat Earth?
Hang on.
Quite
We're
easily.
all going, no, this is not happening. None of this is happening. None of this is going on. What are they talking about? And then the dates of these things come and pass when they say the things are going to happen. Those dates come and pass. And so it's like, do you know what? This is just a big old psyop. They keep getting everybody's hopes up, and then nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. I come back to it a couple of years later, and one of the things they say is past proves future, right? And one of the things that Q said was look for comms in the news and understand how to read the map, right? And what use is the map without a key? The news is the key. The comms in the news is the key to the map.
We've been given their supporting evidence. We've been given it. We've been given all of
what
the
you
supporting
do. You
evidence in the
listen.
news, unlike
You
it.
listen to the. You listen to the like random words, like with the cat thing. The other day they just popped in this random bit about a cat museum. I was like, what? What the heck is that about? Because it's not even really that feel good, because it's about, it's cat museum, and it made me think of dead cats for some reason. And I was like, so Rox, put pussycat in the Q map, and up pops dead cat. And it's making references, right, to things that are relevant, really relevant now. And so it's really difficult.
Is it predictive? Does it? I mean, does it give dates?
No.
We've already had deltas going past, and we've had 1 and 2 year deltas
there's
already
deltas
all day long.
Yeah, Corey Haim is supposed to come out with a tell-all everything, and it doesn't seem to be trickling out much of anything. Is Q even alluded to what
Corey.
it is? Is the coronavirus on the Q? Is it on that?
So we've been told that disinformation is necessary, that the deep state will push a sky is falling event, and it's a scare tactic that's absolutely necessary. And we've been told to watch for specific comms, one of which was given just the other day by the president.
What does that mean, watch the comms? What does that mean exactly?
Okay, so let me explain. So there's a thing called secure drop, right?
Okay.
Secure drop is just one of the ways that the MSM used to communicate before the deep state lost control, right? Remember, the deep state cabal, the people that have been ruling this place that we live in, never thought they were going to lose control, ever. Yeah. Previously,
why do they allow the internet to begin with? I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Why do they allow the internet to even exist to begin with? Is a big question, I would say.
Because
they had to. They had to.
Imagine a kid.
They had to let it exist.
If you imagine a kid that's up to naughty stuff and they think they're really on it and they're never going to get caught by their parents, eventually they're going to start getting loose with them.
Oh, in a rigged game,
complacency, arrogant complacency.
Yeah.
So when they lost control, everything that they used for their power was turned back on against them. Everything that they've done has been recorded. Like, for those of you that aren't aware, Hugh Hefner was never Hugh Hefner. He was a plant, 3-letter plant that was wired, audio, visual at all times. That whole scenario was created. Get you drunk and you'll tell me all your secrets.
And I think that can be backed up with source material, can't it, Rox? That can be backed up with source material.
Anderson Cooper. Does anyone know about Anderson Cooper and the sodomistic background of his family?
Yeah.
Is everyone aware of the Podesta's brothers and
Yeah.
what they've been up
They
to?
shut down that Instagram too sweet, didn't they?
There are thousands of these examples.
Here's what
is
we've
the
been
relevance?
told, and I'll give you this. I'll give you this right now, so you can all pay attention for it yourself. Okay, we're looking at coming up to a delta in November that makes everything that's happening now make absolute sense. Right? National Guard being implemented. Go and talk to Anons. All the Anons are sitting here going, okay, yeah, we're here. The storm's upon us. Right.
Popcorn
So
ready.
now we need to reassure our woken truth seekers that this isn't what it's. That's why you see Anons all over the place going, relax, everyone. Just relax yourselves. This is calm.
Calm down,
This
man.
is all part of the plan. Don't worry. We're watching the systemic takedown of the old guard internationally, systematically, like a domino effect. They're getting
what I think is
bottlenecked.
happening.
If you let me finish, Rich, the points
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
telling you yesterday offline, there's 4 points to this, right? If you remove all of the civilians and children off the streets, right, you remove the cabal's ability to create mass killings, which is what they will do. They will do that.
That's
real
their
quick,
master. That's their master
and
move.
that is what
That's
that
their
is
big
why
move.
we're having an international situation where countries are looking at each other going, right, where's your egg timer on? Where's your egg timer on? Because we need to get these people pulled out off the streets without causing mass hysteria. Why? Because we've got comms to know that these people are going to take enough people out. So now,
Because what they want
this
is
an
mass hysteria.
international
The
problem.
deep state.
Can I just interject
deep
and say
state want
then
mass
that
hysteria.
I need to
the
give you
virus
this full
release
picture.
has been deliberate in a good way, so it keeps people in?
Well, like I said, I think it was
I think the
given
belief is that
to
the virus
to
is
the deep
bullshit, and the
state.
reason is to keep people in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So number two,
Yeah.
the closures of the countries and the borders is because these people are on the run. They're on the run. They're trying to go for their underground bases to hide out and wait for the storm to pass.
They know what's coming, man. They know
All
what's
the
coming to
underground
them for
bases have
what
been
they've
destroyed.
done.
All of their refuge has been destroyed. All of their deep state strongholds have been destroyed.
Think about all the
Most deep
floods.
state actors have flipped and freed themselves for non-deep state. Yeah, Guantanamo Bay did not get all of that money spent on it for civilians. Let me assure you of that. Yeah, there's still
The deep state wanted us to make the deep state wanted us to believe it was.
There is still
the deep
over
state pushed a
100,000
narrative that said it was
sealed
for us.
indictments, guys. There's still over 100,000 sealed indictments. And
It's like a double agent and a double agent. It's like
so.
yeah.
Are we? Sorry, just so I know where you are at. Perhaps you're saying that that the whatever it is was been media manipulated to keep people indoors so that they could take down the what's names. Yeah, I mean Tom Hanks has said, "Oh, I've got it," and so have a few other celebrities. Are we to assume that they're just going to be taken down, or is it their way of removing themselves from the I don't understand what when you say in November. I'm sorry, I don't follow Q, so it's
you saying what's the payoff?
Understand?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Right, so the network, right? The tip of the iceberg will be the Podesta brothers, right? Seth Rich, he had a name. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Emails that got deleted. Those emails.
Actually, isn't the tip Hillary Clinton?
Issue, right. The general public will have to be soft-pilled eventually, right? Because the general public now know about Epstein's Island, right? It's not conspiracy anymore. People understand that guy didn't freaking kill himself, right? He got
So all this is to do with a soft play to the public, you think?
I think what we're looking at, because this is an international problem, we've got country upon country upon country where we've got normal people like us. We just want to live a free life with our children and live some kind of happy existence in this reality, right? Whereas, like collateral damage, we're caught up in all of this. All of us, we're all in this together. We all need to remove self-importance and arrogance right out of the way real quick. Yeah. And I'm not causing panic by saying this. I'm telling everyone to relax because there's no need to panic. Yeah. The good guys, whoever they are in control. And that is the reason this is getting ramped up, because the bad people want to hurt us. They don't want to allow us to live.
And they want us to panic.
Yeah.
They want us to panic. They want us in fear. Right. They want us fighting each other.
If the lockdown gets to your door and you realize that your town's been locked down and the National Guard's been pulled in, just do as you're told, because they're there for your protection, not to hurt you. Yeah. They want us divided every which way possible. They want people to think this is some new world order takeover so that they fight. Yeah. Soros has lost all control. All of his control to control big crowds are gone. Where are all the crowds, everyone? It's all been cancelled.
What's Antifa going to do now, man?
The only thing
But people are policing themselves.
Check it. The only
people
thing
are
Soros
policing
can do is-
themselves. 80% of this
Soros can do.
world will self-isolate if the fear is enough. You're not going to need the military. You're not going to need anybody because 90%, whatever it's going to be, will be so
That's the
terrified that
beautiful
they'll
thing.
stay in.
That's the beautiful thing of a pandemic. Why do you think they used a pandemic for this? They can't do it with war.
Correct.
They could never do it with war.
I don't know. I mean, listen, that's a great thing, but you're looking at the World Health Organization and all of these other crooked things
World
telling
Health
you
Organization is still a puppet for the
exactly.
cabal
So
right
why
now.
are they
They're still a
giving the
puppet.
instruction that it's a pandemic?
Rox,
It's sort of conflicting to me. That's all, guys. I'm
Rox.
Yeah.
Can you get up that Q post?
Who? What's the grab?
The Who Q post. Can you get the Who Q post up?
I will try. Give me a second.
Hey, listen, I am open-minded. I have no clue as to this.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I just want to say 12 minute.
I've also been. I'm also on the Q fence. I want to believe it, but I feel it's too convenient. I almost feel like it's getting us to stay out of the way.
It's like it's some secret thing with a
When I
code
have more
that's
time,
the
I'll go
good
into it
guys
another time.
embedded, and they've only been embedded 5 years or whatever. Or it's
like there was a whole lot of weird synchronicity with there's lots of weird synchronicity, and all the posts have these weird little identifying numbers, and these numbers often completely exactly coincide with some post by the president 2 years later and things like this. And that's true. You can see that. But I always kind of thought maybe it's like, I don't know, Mossad or someone like that, just playing everyone, like it's definitely an intellectual game. Well, the worst case scenario in my head is that it's a game to occupy those of us who have enough brains to realize that we're being fooled and to put our energy into looking into it. It's like it's there to occupy the autists, but maybe it really is White Hats, changing the guard over. And I do want to believe that. I'm a skeptical human.
But I'll tell you what, but no, because you said, but you mentioned autists, didn't you? Right. So one of the posts that Q puts up is, please be the autists we know you are, because that is the type of person that needs to be looking at. You need to be a little bit autistic about this, man.
As OB would say, those are the people who figured out the moon landings.
You need to be right. So one thing about autistic people is they're completely they're completely set. It's like they're living in a different emotional bubble to us. They're not connected emotionally in the same way to things that normal people are. Right. So autistic people don't react the way that we expect them to. They don't understand the way that we react to things, and it's because they're detached. They're completely detached. So that's why Q's saying, please be the autist we know you are, because you have to detach yourself from this stuff to be able to look at it objectively, to be able to discern what is actually going on.
How do you make that? How do you bring that about with other people? How is this transmission is going to make that come out? What are the thoughts on that?
How do you mean?
Well, the people that I would talk to, I'm very nonchalant about it. I say, relax, don't let cortisol control your life. You're not going to die. And people either they take that and go, wow, he's really, really not interested in this as a real concept. He's surprisingly not scared. What does that mean? Rather than the person in the sketch. So I kind of agree with what you're saying. You're like, what is the big grab here?
While we're talking right now, your president's delivering a speech in the Rose Garden declaring a national emergency in the entire country.
Okay.
Fantastic. Can you play that, Rox?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
I've got it on in the background here as well.
I've been waiting for that. When you told me that before, I'll mute.
If you will mute up, I will. I'll pop it on now.
Yeah. Rox, check your WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Beautiful day in the Rose Garden. appreciate everybody being here today. I'd like to provide an update to the American people on several decisive new actions we're taking in our very vigilant effort to combat and ultimately defeat the coronavirus. We've been working very hard on this. We've made tremendous progress. When you compare what we've done to other areas of the world, it's pretty incredible. A lot of that had to do with the early designation and the closing of the borders. And as you know, Europe was just designated as the hotspot right now, and we closed that border a while ago. So that was lucky, or through talent, or through luck, call it whatever you want. But through a very collective action and shared sacrifice, national determination, we will overcome the threat of the virus. I also announced Wednesday night, following the advice of our medical professionals, who are doing a tremendous job, and we appreciate it very much, that we're suspending the entry of foreign nationals who have been to Europe in the last 14 days from entering the United States. Citizens, permanent residents, and our families, any of the families returning from Europe, will be subject to extra screening as well as self-isolation for a period of 14 days. As the World Health Organization confirmed today, many of the things that what we said were 100% correct, including our designation before then of Europe. Like our earlier very aggressive actions with China, this measure will save countless lives. I appreciate a number of the folks behind me, a number of the people behind me said that that saved a lot of lives, that early designation. But it is only the beginning of what we're really doing, and now we're in a different phase. We had some very old and obsolete rules that we had to live with. It worked under certain circumstances, but not under mass circumstances. They were there for a long time. They were in place for a long time, and we're breaking them down now. And they're very usable for certain instances, but not for this. To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words. The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order, I'm urging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately. You're going to be hearing from some of the largest companies and greatest retailers and medical companies in the world. They're standing right behind me and the side of me. I'm also asking every hospital in this country to activate its emergency preparedness plan so that they can meet the needs of Americans everywhere. The hospitals are very engaged. New York and other places are also very engaged. I just spoke with Governor Cuomo. We had a very good conversation, and we're working very strongly with many states, including New York. The emergency orders I'm issuing today will also confer broad new authority to the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The Secretary of HHS will be able to immediately waive provisions of applicable laws and regulations to give doctors, hospitals, all hospitals, and healthcare providers maximum flexibility to respond to the virus and care for patients. This includes the following critical authorities: the ability to waive laws to enable telehealth, a fairly new and incredible thing that's happened in the not so distant past. I tell you, what they've done with telehealth is incredible. It gives remote doctors visits and hospital check-ins, the power to waive certain federal license requirements so that doctors from other states can provide services in states with the greatest need. Two, the ability to waive requirements that critical access hospitals limit the number of beds to 25 and the length of stay to 96 hours. The ability to waive the requirements of a 3-day hospital stay prior to admission to a nursing home, big thing. the authority to waive rules to hinder hospitals' ability to bring additional physicians on board or obtain needed office space. They can do as they want. They can do what they have to do. They know what they have to do. Now they don't have any problem getting it done. The authority to waive rules that severely restrict where hospitals can care for patients within the hospital itself, ensuring that the emergency capacity can be quickly established. We'll remove or eliminate every obstacle necessary to deliver our people the care that they need and that they're entitled to. No resource will be spared, nothing whatsoever. 10 days ago, I brought together the CEOs of commercial labs at the White House and directed them to immediately begin working on a solution to dramatically increase the availability of tests. Other countries have called us and worked with us, and they're doing similar things or will be doing similar things. As a result of that action, today we're announcing a new partnership with private sector to vastly increase and accelerate our capacity to test for the coronavirus. We want to make sure that those who need a test can get a test very safely, quickly, and conveniently, but we don't want people to take a test if we feel that they shouldn't be doing it. And we don't want everyone running out and taking, only if you have certain symptoms. Using federal emergency authorities, the FDA approved a new test for the virus. We did this within hours after receiving the application from Roche, a process that would normally take weeks. We therefore expect up to 500,000 additional tests will be available early next week. We'll be announcing locations probably on Sunday night. I want to thank Roche, great company, for their incredible work. I'd also like to thank Thermo Fisher. The FDA's goal is to hopefully authorize the application within 24 hours. It'll go very quickly. It's going very quickly, which will bring additionally 1.4 million tests on board next week and 5 million within a month. I doubt we'll need anywhere near that. At the same time, we've been in discussions with pharmacies and retailers to make drive-through tests available in the critical locations identified by public health professionals. The goal is for individuals to be able to drive up and be swabbed without having to leave your car. I want to thank Google. Google is helping to develop a website. It's going to be very quickly done, unlike websites of the past, to determine whether a test is warranted and to facilitate testing at a nearby convenient location. We have many, many locations behind us, by the way. We cover this country and large parts of the world, by the way. We're not going to be talking about the world right now, but we cover very, very strongly our country. Stores in virtually every location. Google has 1,700 engineers working on this right now. They've made tremendous progress. Our overriding goal is to stop the spread of the virus and to help all Americans who have been impacted by this. Again, we don't want everybody taking this test. It's totally unnecessary. And this will pass. This will pass through, and we're going to be even stronger for it. We've learned a lot. Tremendous amount has been learned. I want to thank Deborah Birx, and I want to ask her maybe to come up and say a few words as to what's happening. Dr. Birx is a highly respected person I've gotten to know very well over the last 6 days.
I'm going to pause it there. And obviously, if you want to see more about that, you're more than welcome to go and carry on. But I just wanted to get the crux of what was being said there. I think if we're going to hear about all experts and all of that, yada, 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 I think that's pretty much old hat. I think the crux of it is that you can all see that America's now declared a state of national emergency. For me, and it's only my opinion, for me, it just kind of backs up everything I've seen and heard already. I realize the cabal are getting bottlenecked. I know from what I've seen, and this is just my opinion, that they are in progress of retaliating as we speak. And they're going to continue to retaliate until they're taken off the streets. And shout out to everyone in the chat room that are going, well, why aren't we seeing any arrests? We will, once we're all moved out of the way of harm's way. We will see arrests. When people start seeing people like Podesta and Hillary Clinton getting arrested, when people start seeing Hussein, Barrack, whatever his name is, or, he's probably gonna,
Dave.
go for it. Dave. Go on, darling. Go for it.
So what I hear, what translation of what Trump is saying is keep calm and panic. That's what I think. That's how
I'm hearing keep calm to us and panic for the deep state.
I was hearing it's going to pass. It ain't going to be long. It's going to be a 30-day process. So whatever it is whatever they're doing is going to take 30 days for, whether they're crashing the economy, whether they're making arrests, whether they're doing whatever. We're going to find out in 30 days, And if it's been elevated, if the virus has been elevated after 30 days, I'll be really surprised it's not the play that you guys might think it is. I hope you're right. I hope this Q thing is bang on. I hope they're getting us away. They're making the arrests. And it's a great new thing. To me, it's what it feels like is not that. It feels the other way. It feels the ushering in this new world order. You're going to be chipped. You're going to be vaccinated. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. Right? That's what it feels like at the moment. But then I don't have the benefit of Q because I don't do it.
That's why you can't hear me. My bloody mic's
and even if it is just if it is what you're saying it is to usher in this golden age of wonderment, for example, then fantastic. I really hope it is. How I feel is it's not. That's
can I point out that when he gave his speech, he stumbled again. Right, he either stumbles over it or he sort of stops and he says, the coronavirus, and he sort of emphasizes it, and he stumbled over it this time. And also he was saying coronavirus, you can get your coronavirus thing, no problem, we'll do it in a safe way, but if you don't have to get it, you don't have to get the coronavirus test. What I've not heard anything about is COVID-19 tests, because that's the thing that's killing everybody, not coronavirus. Coronavirus is something that everybody gets, and that's why they're using that. Everybody gets the coronavirus at one point during the year. Everybody will get a cold or flu. Right? Unless you're super healthy and you take a lot of, you're really well nourished, right? It's COVID-19 that's killing people. So the COVID-19 test.
COVID-19. Why come out with Corona first? Why not just come out with UVR 583 is killing
because the deep state wanted to use coronavirus to create panic. They wanted and it's the easiest thing to make a pandemic out of, because it is already technically, if you take death out of the equation and you only talk about infections, then coronavirus has been a pandemic for the last 100 years or whatever.
Okay, so it's the opening band for the main event. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah, basically. I think
I'm really looking forward to it now. I'm looking forward to what's coming. I really want you to be right.
I'm looking forward to Miami next weekend. Don't close the whip.
You've had it, mate.
You've had it. Hey, me and Rox were talking about cheap flights to Miami the other day, weren't we, Rox? Yeah. Apparently somebody was talking about cheaps for 120 quid. Fly to Miami for 120 quid.
A beach party. Come if you're not scared.
Hey, listen, if you're in England, no worries, man. No worries. If you're in England, straight through, guys. Yeah. Are you English? No worries. You came from London? Yeah, that's great. Come on in.
Yeah. You come from Ireland or Europe? No.
Does anybody else think 00 kind of reminds me of John Malkovich a little bit?
John Malkovich. Yeah. You know what? I'll go with that. John Malkovich. I've never had that comparison before, man.
Yeah, wow. Teddy KGB from Rounders, with the Russian accent. No, nothing.
With the Russian accent. Hey, listen. If you want for the rest of the show, I will put on my Russian accent for the rest of the show.
Just quickly,
Rox, you're on mute, honey.
My
I was just agreeing with Poodly Daddy. Go on, darling.
Oh, sorry, my sister-in-law. I said about, look, give me quickly, tell me what's happening in Italy, and it confirms everything 007's saying. Richie, sorry. Ian, okay, we have all been told to stay at home, but most of the factories are still open, which is a weird contradiction because all the schools are closed. It doesn't make much sense to us. John Malkovich. If we need to leave our homes, we have to have
I'm summing up John Malkovich.
Yes, man. I love it.
If we need to leave our homes, we have to have that special paper, but we can only go to work, to the shop, supermarket that sell food for animals, the family doctor, the opticians, or to a relative, depending who it is. If we want to take our dog for a walk, we must stay near our homes. The situation is tragic. All sports have been stopped because we have to keep at least 1 meter between each person. There are queues outside shops because people can't be close to each other. Oh, yeah, I suppose it would be, wouldn't it? The hospitals are full. And when I say full, I mean IC units. If you need any more info, just ask. It's tragic. But then she's now doing her English lessons online. But I'm wondering if she's getting that from the news. But obviously the rest of it is still, you can't go out without your piece of special papers. Hello.
That seems to be the whether we are, at this point, and I'm just going to speak for myself here. If you know people that are within and I'm speaking for myself, I just want to reiterate this again. I'm not speaking for anyone else. I heard something drib through the feeder today that landed on my lap, and it made me think twice about things, because we all live different walks of life, and we all have different backgrounds, and we all come from different places. And I've got friends and family that are in the entertainment industry. I've got friends and family that are in positions within the entertainment industry where what Boris Johnson said could end up being a self-evident truth for me. I may end up losing loved ones before their time because of what they've been involved in. So, and I'm saying that for myself. I'm not putting anyone else on the line here. I'm confident to say that within myself, because I'm on my own pursuit of truth. I'm living my own journey, and I'm just saying, from where I'm sitting, having lived the life I've lived with the people around me, knowing the people my parents know and the background that they've had, it wouldn't surprise me if my dad phones me up soon telling me, yeah, such and such has died from it. And I know me and my dad are going to give each other a look and go, things that make us go, we're both going to do that. And that's me with my parent. My parent's just as skeptical as me on this, and going, yeah, but why is it not Winston from Cookie Lane in Peckham who's getting it? Why is it not your plumber down the street who's your average?
Yeah, who do you know that has it? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, see, for those people, that have lived a life off of other people's tax money, there's no escaping the big man upstairs, mate. I'm telling you. See, when you see who ends up, when the cards all fall on the table after this.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's time is gonna make it apparent, and whatever happens, whether we close down for 30 days, I cannot wait to see what goes on in the rest of this year. And
it's time for humans to unite, to comfort one another, to not be arrogant, to not have self-importance, to let go of all of the boundaries and barriers that have held us all apart from each other, and realize that none of that's important if we're alive and understanding what we're living in our own reality is a self-evident truth. Nothing other than that really matters. Everything else is materialistic. The system that we've been living in from our oppressors, in order for that to be destroyed, some of it that we live with is going to be lost. And we've got to accept that if we're going to move forward with this and understand that we're going to live differently after all of this goes down. This is not your average little war in Iraq or Vietnam thing. This is nothing. This is, like you said, Ian, the best analogy could probably be biblical. That's the best analogy I've heard so far for what we're seeing on an international scale. This is not going to go away in the news cycle, everyone. If you think it's just going to go away next week and everything's going to go back to being hunky-dory, look at the events that have been closed down. Look at the world. Look at the
we know we've got at least a month of it. We're going to be bombarded at least.
The Eiffel Tower again for the foreseeable future. The Eiffel Tower is closing down in less than 60 minutes, and that's it. No more Eiffel Tower. No more taking your loved one and giving her a little smooch under there for now. Why is that?
Yeah,
Go for it.
I mean, the whole point about whatever it is to close everything down. I mean, that countries are doing it. We will be soon. You know, America is about. I mean, I try to look to see what a national emergency does to when it's been declared. And one of the things I said, I texted you the ability to waive laws. And I don't know. If what you think is going to happen happens, and it's all going to be great after it, I think it's going to be really rocky before it gets there. I think it's going to be horrible.
Choppy waters ahead. Choppy waters definitely ahead. Choppy waters are ahead for us all. Go on, Hoodly Daddle.
All right. Have any of you seen the documentary Collapse?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is on Scarce.
That's been recently, isn't it? This is.
Yeah. Michael C. Rupert is the. He's actually took his life, I think, in 2014. The sad thing, but he's at the front of the truth kind of community as far as a journalistic type of thing. One of the things that he talked about, this is all based on the collapse of global energy, based on the finality of oil reserves, fractional oil reserves, goes on and on and on. But one of the things that he said was that it's the ability to, like, we have trucks going constantly. You can go on the expressways or whatever you'll call them, highways there. Those trucks are coming back and forth, bringing food and supplies and Amazon and everything else that everyone needs, okay? There's only 3 days of resources in any given metropolitan city for that to continue to be able to take care of people, and then it's gone. There's nothing coming in anymore. So for me, that's where my head goes to, that this is just a dry run of another dry run of another dry run, because we'll all be gone in 10 days. You know, I mean, we'll get down to the point where we become, inhuman, and we'll be, it'll be the fight or flight instinct, where people will be bashing each other in the head for water. That's where I see it going. And that I could totally be wrong, hopefully I am. But I mean, that's where I see that kind of pandemic ends up. Where does it end up? My friend and I were talking about, we pontificate, well, how long does it take before people become cannibals? And he's like, I don't know, 4 months. He's like, I'm like, 4 years. He's like, no.
Spain's just declared a 15-day national emergency as well.
So did Trump declare it, or he just said these are the measures?
No, he declared it.
No, he declared it. But
Right.
that's for 30 days, and Spain are doing it for 15 days. Ireland are doing it for 30
it's all
days.
interim period. One's actually, if they said we're declaring a national emergency right now for the next 3 months, you got mass hysteria everywhere. Forget panic buying bog roll. People are going to be like, I have enough vodka to get through.
Well, this is what I'm worried. What's going to happen now in Spain? They've done it, and what's going to happen in America? There must be pandemonium at the minute, isn't
They're
there?
showing us the National Guard in New York already. The National Guard.
Jesus, it's there, is it? It's already there.
Yeah, they've called in the National Guard into the zone in New York. Apparently, that was the last place that Hoover and Clinton were seen. By the way, just thought I'd mention that. That was the very last place they were seen in public, straight after national emergency declared and National Guard called in. Go on, Hoodly Daddle.
Everybody, and this is not being rah for America. This is a grift in the system. But everything follows the United States. The United States economy goes, it all goes.
Hey, if you sneeze, we catch a cold. If you guys pass wind, we smell it.
Sure.
I've known for a long time America's pressure valve, man.
You have to sort of watch what America does, because you can do something in Spain, you can do something in Italy, and you know what people in America go? What's going on in Italy? Italy,
it's almost
where?
like the domino. That's the first domino. It's the first. It's almost like the world is watching. The world has watched that happen.
When we're freaking the fuck out, when we're going bananas in the streets, it's done. Yeah,
and I think that's what this time Soros is being prevented from doing. All of his crowds that he normally gets to cause madness, well, just so happens that the only places those crowds are still left is in prisons. And let's think about what prisons are doing right now.
But they're always rioting, Roxanne, for every kind of thing. So
and you know what? You're a genius for saying that, because guess how much credence Soros gets? Zero. Because like you said, they're always rioting.
We're going live at Whatchamadoodle prison to see that the prisoners are rioting. You don't say. And again, that's the American thing is, and what does that mean for anybody? means
Correct.
nothing. It's nonsense. Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like what we're seeing now is just a domino effect of countries giving their starter before the main course. It's like, here's your starter for course. You're going to get quarantined for a manageable amount of time.
It's a primer.
And then it's going to be like and at the end of that, we're going to and
so it just drags on each time, and it gets.
I think it's at 2.0, and
they're
then it goes
already
to
talking about
2.2 and on and on and on.
syndrome. They're already talking about, look, we've got to prepare people. This is going to get a lot worse, and if we start quarantining them now, there's no way they're going to keep doing as they're told for the amount of time we need. This is what they're saying in the UK. They're already saying that in the UK.
They have to police themselves, like Double O is saying. They have to police themselves because there are no resources to do that. It's the what if. Well, that if is not possible.
The psychological thing about policing yourself, though, and people policing themselves is like an ultimate thing. It's a 1984 thing. It's the psychological thing. You know, it's the people are so scared they can police themselves. You can put enough fear into them, they'll buy it all and police themselves. We don't need the military. We don't need that. People are so stupid and malleable that they police
Fortunately
themselves.
and unfortunately, whoever you ask, Orwell already put it out there. So we already have that as a, so it's not so surprising and frightening. It's like, well, they already talked about it, and they've made Apple commercials based on it, back in the day.
My children's school, they're already making provisions for students that don't have internet at home. Both of my children came home today and they said, yeah, look, mummy, we've got this. And they've showed me notifications on their apps to say, yeah, we're just basically finding out what child has and hasn't got internet, because we haven't been told that we're going to close down yet. And this is a school in West London. I won't say what school, but a school in West London. And they're saying, we haven't been told that we're going to, calm down, parents. And that's what's really funny. Before you read anything else, it's please remain calm and read. We're not telling you we're closing the school yet. Underlined.
Yeah, yet.
However, when we do, not if, when we do, we need to make sure that we can keep the children online and we can keep the classes going. And we just want to reiterate, Miss Glenn, we are not closing the school yet.
Yeah. Keep calm, but panic. Go insane.
My daughter's taking her A-levels and my son's at secondary school. I know there's probably a lot of people watching that, parents yourself, and that this is what they want. They want people to just be in mass panic and fear. If you're in an area and you're told that your school's shut down and measures are being put into place, like your friend showed us this evening, Rich, you'll be notified by your local authorities. They've made provisions for this. They have made provisions to keep as many people safe as possible and to have as little collateral damage as possible. Because if it was up to the cabal, I think most of us would just get wiped out. I think it's happened in the past.
Speculation?
I think it's happened in the past, guys. And I think this time it's not going to be allowed to happen.
I want to make a speculation, Rox. Remember, you mentioned about how the Irish Prime Minister was with Trump. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was looking scared. He was looking like...
he looked like a little lost schoolboy. He kind of was just sat there going...
Yeah, well, like he'd been put in his place. He was feeling like, it was looking like he'd been put in his place. And Ireland's just closed all its schools. Now, I said to Rox, I wonder if, because actually it was Rox that made the observation before me a couple of days ago and said, maybe they're closing, maybe the schools that are closing, the ones like, maybe they're closing because they've been threatened, by the deep state or whatever. There might be a threat from the deep state to that school. The school doesn't know about it. It's not, it's just that there is there's a danger in that area from one of the people, or one of the groups that we're fighting. And they talk about these pockets of contagion. So the Irish Prime Minister, I wonder, because Ireland, they've got a really strong foot in Ireland.
Is that Shamrock? Sorry, I'm just asking. Is that random? That looks like Shamrock.
No, that's not.
a March necktie.
That isn't Shamrocks, I don't think.
Parsley.
They're very small. They're very small. It looks like parsley or something.
I don't think it's parsley. Yeah, cress.
I'm
I
showing
bet,
that.
I bet it's something symbolic, though. I bet it
He had
is
the
something
Irish
symbolic.
Prime Minister with him yesterday, though. But why the Irish? Of all the Prime Ministers and leaders, he had the Irish one sat there with him.
It's
I
March.
wonder if he's
It's
got. I
March,
wonder if he's gone
Roxanne.
running. He's gone running to Trump.
It's March, Roxanne. Who else do you have in
True
March?
It's true. St. Patrick's Day. Shout out all the St. Patrick's Day crew.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
funny to me. I'm sorry. It does
It
something.
is.
March
But it is, and I
17th.
think
Isn't it
we've
March
been
17th?
ordered to get
That's
the,
true.
the
Isn't
popcorn
St.
out.
Patrick's Day March 17th?
Yes.
And that's. Do you know what that day is, guys?
Look, Americans
Dead.
put all the stock into all of these
I think
holidays.
it's going to be the quietest St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day in a very long time, to be honest. Because I live in an area that's rammed full of bars. It's like it's a holiday area. You know, we get 1 million tourists here every year, and we've got event organisers from April coming over to try and renegotiate prices because they're all pulling out. They're already losing. I think something like last weekend they'd already lost they'd had 2,000 cancellations for this event. And St. Patrick's Day is normally madness here, and I think it's going to be the quietest one ever.
I think it literally will
St. Patrick's
destroy
Day's
whatever
crazy,
economy
isn't it?
this is and be re-injected with maybe a crypto economy or something. It's all debt will
That
get
sounds
wiped off if it
realistic to
keeps
me.
going. You know, if it keeps going,
Deep
at
state
some point the
want a
money will
cashless
go.
Society.
Yeah, which is fine.
I don't think
mean,
Trump wants it. I don't think Trump wants a cashless society.
I don't think it's about
really
what
don't
Trump
think
wants,
Trump-
though, because he was selected, wasn't he?
No,
So
no,
it's not
no,
about
no. I
what he
don't think
wants.
it's about what Trump. No. I don't think it's about what Trump wants. Don't get me wrong. But the side that Trump's fighting for, I don't think they want a cashless society. Cashless society is part of the NWO. It's part of the one world government, which is deep state. That's
we
what
are.
we're fighting
Are
for.
you of the opinion, or are you of the opinion that Trump is somehow different to
I'm of
all
the
of the
opinion that
others?
Trump
I
wants
think
everybody
no,
to.
I just think
Like,
Trump's
a
been
businessman.
selected by different people. That's all. He's just been selected by different
I
people.
definitely get a
not
selected
he's
vibe
different.
Because he's a good
Say that
businessman.
again, Gollum.
Because
White
he
hat.
understands numbers.
Sorry,
And he
no, turn your
understands
mic up a
people.
little bit.
Are
Gollum.
we
Can't hear you.
saying Trump is a good guy or a bad guy then?
He's a good
No, I
guy,
just think
in my
Trump's a
opinion.
puppet.
It's a
I just
false
think Trump's a
binary.
puppet.
Okay.
It's
I
a
just think
false
he's a puppet.
binary. You can't put politics into a good or bad. Most of us are
Yeah, I
centric.
think I agree with that.
Most of us are centric.
Okay.
Every one of us has the same thing without being conspiracy nuts. We all
Right.
want to feel safe. We all want to have food in our belly.
Oh,
We all
someone
want
spoke truth. He's being gravelled.
Right. We have more as a humankind in common than we do, apart.
Correct.
The disinterest about
It's not about a Republican and Democrat. It's not about
No. I just meant Trump as a person.
There is no original thought from a president, a sitting president that I've ever seen. They are allowed, and at this point in time, because of social media and this particular president taking advantage of being able to use humor and satire even in speeches, where his tone of his voice. That's why text message is the worst communication ever. It's like, do you need milk? Do we need bread? Bring home toilet paper. It's not to have a conversation. It's not to have an argument. There's no inflection. There's no tone. With these speeches, even though we're hearing what we're hearing, there is tone. There is inflection. That's what I get from him. Is this is all bullshit, but I'm supposed to come out here and say something. And that's whatever the people that are trickle down from the top have decided this, the tragedy du jour of the week or month or whatever. That's what I feel like you're ending up dealing with. You're dealing with, it's all a big confidence game. And we don't, again, Ian, we go back to the whole thing. We say, well, we know what we don't know. What we don't know is nobody's dying, okay? Or what we do know is nobody's dying. What we do know is the people that have died are probably people that weren't long for this earth anyway, okay? Those are things that we know. We know that the countries that are smaller are doing things more. It's more poignant in their decision making. Whereas, like I said, watch America and see what America does. If that falls, then everything falls. Because Venezuela have people in the streets protesting. That's great, but nobody. I don't want to say this and take this the wrong way, but nobody cares. Globally, nobody cares. Use it as an example, but they don't care because it doesn't affect them.
Yeah, that's apathy all over, though, isn't it?
Abortion doesn't affect you until you're in the decision making about whether or not this person or however they want to define this, the soul is going to live or not. Otherwise, if it doesn't affect you, it's like, well, it's it's down the road. It's not my issue right now. This becomes everybody's issue if everyone, buys into the virality of the whole concept. And I think, again, this is one of those things that you're going to see. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I feel like you're going to see this as 2.3 of a 4.9 or something of that nature. I don't think this is the one. I could be wrong. Hopefully not. I want to go to Miami.
There's a lot of people that are like, you know what? Yeah, just real quick, just don't do it yet because I've got a couple of
right. Yeah.
Real quick, I've got to go and pick up some stuff.
I think. Okay, has anybody seen the documentary? Everything is a rich man's trick.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it a while ago.
Yeah. It's JFK 9/11. It's a guy named Francis Connolly, and he narrates the whole thing. He did a great job. Whether or not everything in there is completely accurate, there is a lot of things that you can munch on, and you may or may not be able to find it on YouTube. I don't know. I've probably seen it a dozen times, so I can recite it. But if it hasn't been, people have mirrored it, and it's something I think that everyone should take 3 hours to watch. Maybe over like I said, you can bite it up and put it in a morsel. But that's the whole thing.
I just sent it to you.
A bunch of things happen so a few fat rats can get richer. Okay, so the derivatives that were put down on 9/11, there were puts and stock purchases that were made that were obviously they were insider trading. And
that's happening now. That's happening now with Boeing and a few other stocks.
It's going on all the time. Whenever there's a thing, someone is making money from it, hand over fist. That it's not. You would have no idea. It's so subversive that it's going on. Nobody even understands it.
That's true. I like what no one's flowers said. The world is run by magicians, not politicians. It's absolutely the people that are actually the puppet masters. They are magicians. They are the magicians, and this is.
I've just popped into the chat room the content. Cheers for that, Noel. You've just sent me that, so that's in the chat room for you guys all now. I'm going to check that out as well. I haven't seen that. That looks like a decent piece of content there. I'm just going to show everyone.
I think I've seen it as well, but a while back.
And we're talking about everything is a rich man's trick, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good bit of content.
I'm just going to familiarize everyone with what it looks like. I'm just going to...
Please. And I'm telling you, you will be entertained as well as informed. And again, you don't have to buy into all of it. But there's...
This channel here?
Let's see. Yes, but we have to play it and make sure that it is the actual one, because sometimes people do commentary over it and whatnot. That looks like it, yes.
This one?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah. That's it.
Perfect. So, guys, that is the link I've just put into the chat room for you all right now, so that you can all hear it and see it and see you're familiar with it. Hey, little baby girl. Oh, little chickle.
Someone's tired.
Daddy. Yeah. Oh, bless Daddy Paul there. Well, we have been streaming now for almost 2 hours, so I'm going to wrap it up for today. And as always, this week I've said I'm going to come back every day at 6:30. So any of you, if you want to join me and Rich tomorrow, if you want to carry any of this, obviously things, as I said, I in my opinion, this is not going to blow over quickly. This is going to escalate and get a lot worse before it gets better. And I feel like the more people can unite and take down the barriers and boundaries that divide us all, the better. Because I think at this time that we're about to go through, we're all going to need each other a little bit more than we ever thought. And, hopefully the internet won't go down. Hopefully there won't be 10 days of darkness. Hopefully there won't be any of that. And we'll be able to keep going with social media. But just remember, if for some reason something happened where people's internet did go down and you weren't able to communicate, just remember all these conversations that we've had and reassure other people, console and comfort other people that are freaking out. Because freaking out, I think, will be the difference between someone surviving this situation and not. If you understand where I'm coming from, mentally.
Absolutely.
Mentally, yeah. So I think the best thing that we can do is we're not selling any fear around here. There is nothing to fear with what is going on. Like you've heard people saying, this too shall come to pass. Yeah, it's not in this. The target is not us for once. For once. Imagine that. Imagine us not being the target for once. Imagine tomorrow you're not going to have to wake up and hear that a football match has been blown to smithereens and tens of thousands of people have died because the cabal want to have a little sick twist to themselves. That ability is being removed on an international scale. We're going to be removed and put out of the way, and then the real deal is going to happen. And this, I feel, is just a precursor for it. And you know, there's a
I
lot
hope
of people
you're right,
that are
Rox.
trying to give people helpful advice. And if you do see something, say something, because that is how we're all growing. I think after this is all said and done, there'll be media that are going to go down for treason, big time. What they're doing right now is heinous to people's minds. It's not, isn't it bad enough that our minds were robbed and we were taught a model as if it was fact, backed up by propaganda, and not even given a balanced opposing view, and told we were living on a spinning ball, when only in 1909 they did 2 expeditions to claim those poles and perpetuate the lie from then. It's not even that old, you know?
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
you know, here we are, all of us. We don't know each other from Adam. We've met each other all online. We're all having a civilized discussion about this. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for putting some amazing comments in the chat room and trying to help each other through this. Even though not all of you agree, the fact that you're all giving a wonderful example of a socially acceptable interaction about these extremely tentative subjects that we've gone through. And yes, a lot of people are split and divided, but I think a lot of us on this panel have reminded everyone that's not what this is about. It's not my truth. It's not your, the truth's going to be whatever it is, no matter whether we agree on it or not. It's going to be self-evident. Yeah. So I appreciate
it's your truth, our truth.
It's all, it's everyone's. That's why I'm saying the self-importance and arrogance, just, we all need to just leave it behind. It's got to be so last season with what we're about.
What I meant, yeah. I just realised what I sounded like I was just saying was that it's just you and me. It's our truth. It's me and Roxanne's truth, man. It's our truth. No. When I say it's your truth, I mean you, who's looking at us right now. You, right there. Everybody watching this video right now. It's your truth, man.
Yeah, well said. So to everyone in the chat room, there's over 100 people watching. I massively appreciate you all taking the time to be here with us this evening. As I said, there's a crap load for us to talk about. We've only scratched the surface again, and we've been talking here for like nearly 2 hours. So as I said, you're all welcome to come back tomorrow if you're free at 6:30 my time. I don't know what time that is your time, Hoodily Daddle. I know you're about an hour ahead, aren't you, Noel? Are you an hour ahead?
An hour ahead, yeah. An hour
ahead. Rich is on the same timeline. Ian's on the same timeline. And if you know me on social media and you feel like you want to put your 2 cents worth into this, let me know and I'll bring you on as well. 6:30 tomorrow. Things are progressing quite quickly. I've got people messaging me in the background. So depending on what goes down, it's Friday night. I know that Iron Realm Media, shout out to Iron Realm Media, they should be live later on tonight from about 10:30 onwards. And I think they've got 2 shows and then they go back on at midnight. I know 00 finishes his gig later on. I've got to come off air and do errands for my daughter, which I'm going to go and do now after this. And then I'll be back home at about 11, 11:30, 12. And maybe middle of the night stream, but I'm not
Listen,
sure.
anything can change in that time. I mean, God knows what can happen in that time. 4 hours, everything could change again.
I'm well up for going live when I get back from work, Rox.
Okay, depending on what I'm doing with the kids. But if not, go live on your channel and I'll be in the chat room. If I can't go live, then by all means go live. But yeah, watch this space on that one because I've got people messaging me in the background and I've just had something come up that I think might take precedent. And then we may go live and bring that in pre-recorded. As my phone's going bing, bing, bing. I've got Dolly, shout out Dolly. Hold on. Carry on talking because she's just given me a voice message, but I don't know if it's a voice message she actually wants me to play or, you know what I mean? Carry on talking, everyone.
I know. We go back. You want to be biblical, Ian. You just go back to that. Do not worry. Do not fear. You know, those are quotes. They're just sentences. There's not a comma after them. You know, that's what I think. You know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm talking biblical in terms of scale and size as well, you know, or actual biblical, you know, the return of that sort of thing. I'm not a Jesus fan by any means, but something's not right for now, for this time, and something we're going to find out. Like Rox said, you know, in the next few months, we'll see how it all unfolds. Personally, no, I'm not. I don't think it's what Rox thinks. I hope it is. I don't think it is that. I don't think this is the play for it. I think it'll be a lot. I don't know. Getting a chip. ID 2020. ID 2020. all the rest of it, as well with the roadmap for the digital ID from the EU Commission, which I've been studying a little bit recently. Yeah, I mean, whatever it is a multifaceted thing, because they're going to get so many different things out of it. I think if it is the way that Rox says, then great. We all sit inside and things start tumbling down and we come into a new realm of existence, kind of like what Martin Kenny says, you know, with the alignment being what it is at the end of the year. That provides a new energy, blah, blah, blah. And that's the new...
That's in October,
personally...
actually. I think it's in October, around the time when we're saying this is all going to come to...
October.
Yeah, so I think
that
that star alignment in December now becomes sort of irrelevant if we're just talking about this situation. But I don't think it's that at all. I think it's going to be the way that people have said it for many years. Like, you're going to have a microchip population, you're going to be restricted, and you're really going to become the slave that they want you to be. Now, whether us, by talking about these things, whether by waking people up, you know, it changes, it doesn't happen, then great. But that's the way I feel with it, because I don't have the benefit of Q. I'm not into that at the moment because I can't correlate that with my bits of research anyway. But I'm looking at it, I guess, from the oh shit side. You know, this is the big brother stamping all over us and doing what many people have said about giving us chips, getting us everything else. You're not going to be able to travel anywhere in Europe in 2022 unless you have a digital ID, which is your health ID, that you're not going to be able to go anywhere. So the only way they get that is they either give you a card that you can't do anything, or they chip you, whatever. That's with the ID 2020 and the what was the other bit? You know, the 201 doodah.
Various
right?
other agendas going on.
Yeah. So for the normal finding out what you can find out about, that seems to be what they're doing this for, as well as God knows what else. You know, that's to me crashing the economy, chipping everybody, blah blah blah. I'm following sort of like a bit of a narrative that maybe main truthers have got, but that's how I see it. Whether it is or not, I hope it's your way. I want it to be your way. I really want it to be your way.
The same hymn sheet, and that's real. That's what happens in real life. You know, you've got a group of friends. Go on, Rich.
I just want to remind everybody, right? The biggest weapon used against us is fear. Has been since day one. One of the things Q says is don't be afraid. Trust the plan. Don't be afraid. I am not going to allow their weapon against me to have any effect. If I neutralize the fear, their weapon isn't working against me, and that's why I'm sat here going, absolutely, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either way.
But a lot of people who have been saying that and saying, yeah, it's all about the fear, man. They're pushing the fear, and they're still on the side going, yeah, man. But I think, you know, it might actually still happen, and that's fear right there. The only way that me and you can do anything to affect our own personal existence, our own personal reality, and that's the only one that really matters to you or me, is the one that we're actually experiencing. We can do our best to try and empathize and whatever for other people, but at the end of the day, each one of us, it's what we're actually experiencing. And if the only way that you can possibly make your life a little bit more bearable is to change your perception to something better, so that it's not quite as scary, and you say, they're not demons, they're cheeky little monkeys, and you know what, everything's always turned out all right. Everything in the past, whenever things have gone wrong in the past, if I look back on my life, really everything's always turned out for the best in the end, because if that hadn't happened, then this would never have happened, and if this hadn't happened, then that would never have happened. You know, and we look back and we say, that was bad at the time, but then without that, this wouldn't have happened. So I think it's really, really important to keep control of your perception, because your perception is the one thing that they did their very, very best to steal. Keep control of your perception and change it, and say, do you know what? Let's try and look at this, you know, because it's not doing me any favors being scared about it. And being scared about it isn't changing anything. But for me personally, I was being scared about it, and then I changed my perception. I changed my perception of Trump and everything, and now I'm enjoying the show.
I'm just getting a message
That's
from
all I'll
Dolly in
say.
the background. Dolly's telling us to keep our eyes out for something. So I'm shout out to Dolly Daydream. She's just sent me a is that tweet? It looks like a tweet. So Joe M, I've showed you guys quite a bit of Joe M's content before. Joe M's got an ethos on this, so I'm just going to say it to you as it is. I'll read it out to you as it is. It says, the rising of coronavirus by the dying globalist world order continues. This is literally a heist of British democracy using pandemic hype to keep terrorist Sadiq Khan in power for longer, allowing him to continue the horrific collapse of London into lawless chaos. So, just all I'm doing is, she's seen something, she's saying something, I've seen something, I'm saying something. We're not saying that we're vouching for that, but we're putting the information into the public domain. So keep your eyes peeled on Sadiq Khan. I wonder if CV much, maybe. Let's see.
That's it. Let's see what happens. It's really interesting. It's really nice to have different views on what's going on, because you don't, sometimes if you don't talk, you just research in your own things and you don't get a different perspective from other people. So yeah, I'm really excited about what's going on in a tentative way,
morbid way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she said, she said Boris got rid of the other TWAT. Shout out, Dolly. I don't want to say it out loud. You know what I just said. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Shout out, Dolly. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to interrupt there. Does anyone else want to
Treat
say
women
anything?
always tentatively.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to say anything before we wrap up for the evening? I will hand the floor to either of you guys. If you feel you want to say something, go ahead, Noel.
You guys were all mentioning, I've got his bloody name now because you've given me the floor. Brian Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should go follow Brian Harvey, not just for the main reason that guy witnessed some shit and tried to talk about it. Like, that guy tried to reveal pedophiles before everyone knew about pedophiles. He went to some dark ass back room in some London club, the sort of places I used to work when I realized I wanted out. And he tried to reveal it, and that was the end of his career. Suddenly he was this, what did they label him back in the 90s? Oh, he's this druggy whatever else, and ran himself over with his car and whatever.
Ran over himself in his car. They said it was because he was on pills.
Yeah,
and like it's all sort of coming out now. The reasons for it is because he saw some stuff he wasn't supposed to see, and he spoke about it, and everyone turned to him. So
all he did was make a comment, man. All he did was make a comment, right? He made a comment to one of the people that was there, and he said, "Well, that's not right, is it?"
Yeah.
That's all he said, and that was enough for them to, because they can profile us. They profile everybody that they bring in. So they profiled him, and they could see, do you know what? If this guy sees too much, he's going to talk about it. We need to take him out.
As it would say, they could see he wasn't a reptile, and as the rappers would say, they could see that he was bucking. Like they take you to see shit, and if you, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to. If you buck, then you're out.
Twitch.
Yeah,
that's it. If you flinch, basically, they want to see if you flinch.
See,
because they want to see if they can make you something.
Sharing information. See, when you hear other people's aspects, it does make me think: have I still got major elements of cognitive dissonance, and I consider myself awakened to certain things? And I've just
we don't know anything. We don't know everything, man. We just don't know everything. There's too much to know, but we're all on these paths of truth, and they're all taking us different places, you know, which is. Yeah. Oh no! You know the Earth is. You know the Earth is not a ball. That's what
you do know.
Oh, I know the Earth is not. No, I know. No. I don't know it's not a ball. I don't know for definite it's not a ball.
You just know you're
being
sphere
or whatever. What I know for absolute definite certain, it's not what they taught us.
Yeah.
It's not what they're still trying to teach us. It's not this float ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference, 4,000 whatever miles.
Am I right in thinking that
radius.
We all agree on that? Do we all agree on that? Wait a minute. Sorry, we've just had that whole crazy conversation about the cabal, deep state, and everything.
It is observably flat.
You can prove it.
We all agree it's observably flat. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We all agree that the Earth is observably flat. Yeah.
Measurably.
From any altitude,
as
any
well.
angle, it's observably flat.
Chat room,
Right,
can you
cool.
give us a shout out as well?
I don't
Chat
think I've
room.
ever been higher than 10,000
Even
feet,
though-
but definitely flat.
Even though the chat room doesn't agree on everything within the cabal, the deep state, or what's going on just now with COVID-19, chat room, press 1 if you know for sure you're not living on what you were taught you were living on, and press 2 if you do believe you're on a globe. Press 1.
And
If
you
there's any
don't believe it,
twos,
I've been about-
press
hang on.
2.
they're in the wrong place.
Oh, no, I'll just say a quick.
No, you're in the right place. It's good that you're still here, but just prepare to be annoyed for a while until that dissonance dissipates.
No, shout out to my chat room. I'm not in either chat room. I'm really sorry. I'm not in either chat room. So shout out to my
Dolly.
chat room, man.
Look what Dolly's doing. Dolly's got her popcorn out and she's got her mask on. She's watching.
Wow.
Oh, Dolly.
I haven't seen one of those masks
I
in a
don't know
while.
where my mask
That
is,
takes me back to
man.
2012.
That's some kind of Friday night happy time.
Shout out to you, Dolly. This is Dolly's advice to everyone who's panicking. Don't. Just get some popcorn and sit back and enjoy the show.
Watch the world burn.
Yeah. Yeah, quite literally. Shout out
One,
to Dolly.
one,
Dolly's a
one,
single mum
one.
of 2 kids,
90.
and she's not panicking.
Someone does they know it's flat 93 times? It is an odd number.
Yes, it is. We seem to have lost connection with one.
Flat. 1 from Truth Seeker. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley V for virus.
There he
I'm
is.
guessing that's
There he is.
to the V.
Everybody likes the mask.
Wow.
I love it.
I don't have that one. I do have one
Right,
that
sorry, we've
Hoodie
lost connection
would
with
like.
Hoodle
He's
Daddy
not
Bear as
here.
well. Sorry.
I think he said he had to go, Rox. He's got to drop off. He had to go.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. Well, we're going to wrap up anyway because Double O's got his gig to go to as well. And we're left out. Ian. Oh, don't you dare. Oh. Okay. I really thought he was going to do the whole pop a mask on. I was like,
That's all I
don't
got.
you
Sorry.
dare. Don't you dare.
I got to say, I'm like, this is the best mask that I've ever
love
had.
it. It's a
because
good look,
fits
isn't
my
it,
face
Ian?
perfectly.
We're online with a couple of anons. Now the cheeky monkeys are involved. Look, their streams
Yeah.
are getting involved.
Hey, look, it's all starting to go slow now as well. Look.
Love it. So I've got lots of ones in the chat room, guys. We can take a big sigh of relief. A lot of people do not know. A lot of people don't feel they are living on what they were taught. And I like what Dave Mordy said as well. No one knows what shape it is, but what difference does it make? We all know NASA is fake. Flat, love it. One. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, Dolly, you absolutely did start something there, sweetheart. It was a little domino effect. Can you feel the wave? I can feel the wave. So we'll wrap
Can we
up
do?
for
Can we
tonight.
do a wave? Can we do a
work,
wave
Rich.
around
It
the
might
thing?
not work.
Are we
I'll
going to go
start it.
clockwise? So it's got to go you, then me, then Ian, then Lee, like that.
And then the
go
chat
on, you
room.
start it. Yeah. Well, we.
Oh no, it's because of the
No,
mug.
it's frozen.
No, they've
Damn
frozen
it.
you. The mug, they've got to you.
He
They've
put
done
the
it.
mask on and that was the
Let
end
me
of
see
it.
if I can. Let me see. No, it's not
No,
moving, man.
no, it's not moving.
Come on, man. Come on.
Ah, darn it.
he's
Look.
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
he's back.
back.
Yay. Oh, he's got a little anon with him. You've got a mini anon.
it's
I
not
love it.
moving.
Absolutely love it. Love it. You got to keep it in the family. I love it. Brilliant. Chat room, you've been absolutely amazing tonight. I will try and get into you more tomorrow evening, and I will bring up some of the amazing things that you guys have said. If you want to get in contact with me and bring up any issues that you want us to share a light on, get a hold of me at operationrealness@yahoo.com. More information for everybody is in the description, so go and familiarize yourself there. Ian, where can people find you?
Nowhere really. I didn't. I've been in the
Juicy.
movement. I've been in the flat Earth thing since probably the start, about February 15. It's pretty early.
Yeah, OG.
I did a few songs, and I didn't want to go down the YouTube channel route, so I didn't do it. You should find me on Facebook if you want. I post a lot of stuff on.
Dude, I hate to tell you, but 2015 wasn't the start of Flat
No.
Earth.
Where it was for me. That's what I'm saying. When it
Oh,
really
right, yeah, okay, yeah.
when the meta, the meta data started going crazy about from August 14 right the way through.
Yeah.
But it was in that wave of, I was in February, so yes, I
think
didn't do
that was
much.
That was the second wave, I think.
I don't know. I can only tell you about the most recent one from my point of view, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But it's always been flat. I think it's always been there. So, you know,
Nice.
we're just lucky we got caught up in this time, I think. So
Nice. Well, we've got a ton more to talk about tomorrow. So as I said, you're more than welcome to come back tomorrow if you want to bring us up to date with anything that's happening in your realm. And to the chat room, we will try and spend more time bringing what you're saying into the conversation. That's my bad. I'm trying to get better on the old ones and twos back here. I'm getting better.
We'll try and work out a way to get the chat actually. Oh no, because we're on Streamlabs actually, isn't it? So you know, I think it's OBS, isn't it, where you can actually put the chat up so everybody can see the whole chat. Yeah.
No, we'll try and do something.
Macaroni and cheese.
thanks a lot, though, Rox. Thanks a lot, Rich. I really enjoyed it, and thanks, Noel. Nice to meet you. I've had a really nice time.
It's a shame we didn't catch up.
Pleasure.
It's a shame we didn't catch up when you were out here. We'll have to next time you come out, man. You'll have to
for sure, man. And hopefully the travel ban will be lifted and everything. But thanks very much for having me.
We're here. When the world lockdown lifts, let's all meet.
That's it. Once it's all done, we'll all meet. Exactly. Hopefully, you guys can bring us up to date with where you are. Chat room, you've been amazing. We'll be back at 6:30 p.m. GMT tomorrow. Live. Thank you, Noel. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Ian. And thank you, HOODILIDADDYBEAR. Sorry you had to go and I didn't get to say goodbye.